Have you ever wondered how it's possible that there's one industry that seems to have the biggest and best buildings in town? I mean, every city I go to, right, seems like there's one business that has the best real estate in every city. I don't care if it's north, south, east, or west, Miami to LA to Texas, up to New York to Chicago. Seems like there's one, the banks have the best real estate, right? So today, I'm going to share with you, how is it possible the bank makes money to afford these buildings? And further, how you can become a bank yourself. I didn't understand the concept until Greg Pineo taught me. He said, Kris, be the bank. Be the bank. It wasn't until I turned into the bank that I blew up, right? And that's what I want the same for you. Let's go do this. Greetings, class. It's Kris Haskins with therealestateroundup.com. My mission and ministry is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. So today we're going to be talking about how you can be the bank. How are you going to become the bank? Now, not literally, but figuratively, you're going to get in there, and I want you to stop thinking about being a landlord and owning properties and dealing with tenants and all that stuff. Because what does the bank do when you have a repair? Don't call the bank. Your mortgage. Could you imagine what the mortgage company would say when you call them and say, Mr. Lender, yeah, I've got a stopped up toilet. Can you help me? They don't even have a protocol. They are going to laugh at you. Why are you calling us, right? We don't deal with that stuff. Mortgage companies don't do repairs, and I don't want you to either. The fact is, I didn't blow up until I understood this concept. So this weekend, happy Mother's Day to all my mothers out there. You know we love you, especially my single moms. God, my prayers are going out to you. I don't know how you do it. You do business, you get up in the morning, you deal with the kids, you take care of everything, and you got to look good while you're doing it, right? God bless you. Single moms, that's going to be my mission, to help my single moms. So Dutch has put this course together, coming out this weekend, the Real Estate Wholesaling for Beginners Investor course, his training course. Dutch Jackson, the man did 20 wholesale deals his first year in business. Roundup, he's bringing to you his strategies, his techniques, his software, his systems. Go ahead and download that course right now. The link for that is in the video description. Get started. And the Mother's Day special sale is on right now, right? We're giving you a discount. That will end, this weekend. After this weekend, the discount goes away. So get started right there below. Go ahead and click on it. Bunch of different resources in the video description to help boost your real estate investing business, okay? So, it's crazy. I came to this realization, I've been doing some traveling lately. So I'm like, you know what? I know Greg told me this. He said, Kris, be the bank, be the bank. But as I've been traveling, I'm noticing these tall buildings because where I live, it's not a lot of tall buildings. We got a few, but, going through down south to Chicago, my wife loves Chicago. We've been there several times, but I was traveling last month. Being that I haven't had the chance to travel a lot lately, the buildings kind of caught my attention. Driving through Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'm just like, these buildings, I've just remembered, who in the world occupies these buildings, right? So let's look at it. Let's say Chicago, just for instance. So Chicago, pull that up. Look at the banks. I did a Google search. I did several Google searches here. The banks right there on the water, the best real estate in town. Miami, Florida, right there on the water. Boom, 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 boom. Look, bank, 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 bank. And then you got a few banks out there to the west, but most of the stuff is right there on the water. They got the best real estate. And last week when I was with Patrick McDavid with the Valuetainment Conference, Palm Beach, seems like there's a bank on every corner. Look at this, y'all. Right there on the corner. Bank, 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 bank. Right on the water. The best real estate in town. So I was driving through Charlotte, North Carolina, saw the buildings. Once again, these are big cities. Banks right there in prime time. Prime time downtown North Carolina. Georgia, same thing in Atlanta. Driving through downtown Atlanta, I'm looking up, bank right there in the center, in the heart of downtown. I mean, everything's going on right there, right around the banks. And then I started to say, you know what? I don't know. And I know this is real in big cities, right? The metro areas. But how about in small little towns in Virginia? Could this possibly be the same thing going on in my town too? So I went to Norfolk. I did a bank search for Norfolk, Virginia, which is it's not a large town. It's not a metro area, but I went down here and I said, you know what? Wow, banks right on the water, waterfront property. And then if you look up here that's the Ghent area, banks consolidated right in that one little area. This the premier part of Norfolk, just prime time. So here we are. Norfolk, Virginia is the same thing. And then I went further to say, you know what? Could this be going on in my town too? Right? In Hamptons, a little small Hampton. Boom. You see that little square right there up in the top box. That's the Peninsula Town Center. All the banks are in town. They're right there. The most expensive rent, the most expensive real estate per square footage in town. And over here to the bottom right, right on the water. It's in town center and in downtown Hampton, right? So I further went to say, Kris, could this be going on in small cities too? Is this going on out in the country, out in the sticks? So I typed in Suffolk, Virginia. I'm sure you have not heard of Suffolk, Virginia. I mean, it has a large land mass, but very low density population. Look at this roundup. The bank is on one street, Main Street, in Suffolk, little old Suffolk, Virginia. Good gracious, how could this be possible? All the banks consolidated in that one part, the best real estate in the whole county. So I'm like, okay. I remember Greg Pineo told me, you got to understand how these banks work. You must understand how these banks work if you want to blow up and have a good career and stop worrying about being a landlord. How many banks you know want to be landlords? Matter of fact, when the banks take property back, they want to get the property off the books as fast as possible because they don't want to maintain it. They don't want to pay taxes. They don't want to do repairs. They don't want to worry about them paying the insurance. None of that stuff, which is what you and I probably have been doing for years. I want you to get out of that. So the bank, how does the bank make money, right? The banks, they use something called derivatives. Now you can't do this. So we're going to have two trains of thought here, how the bank makes money and then how you turn into the bank using creative financing, right? So the bank makes money, which is not fair. We can't do it. They use derivatives. That means every dollar that they have in on deposit, they can loan out. Boom, 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 boom. I'm not sure exactly how many of it is, approximately $9 for every dollar they have in the bank. Now, is that fair? No. But that's what gets us here today with this horrible inflation, the way they are doing credit back. They're loaning money out, securities, right? All these mortgages going out. Boom, 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 boom. It is unbelievable how they have money. They just print money based on the money that they have in the bank. They call it mortgage-backed securities when they sell them off, but we don't want to get into that stuff. So the bank has derivatives, but our derivative is creative finance. Creative finance. Get out of thinking to be a landlord on the properties that you own. How do we do creative financing? We too sell to tenant buyers. Just like the bank loans out money to homeowners, home buyers, people that are buying properties with mortgages, right? Mortgages. We are going to sell our houses to tenant buyers through these instruments, these strategies right here. Lease options, land contracts, seller financing, contract for deed. Now, land contract and contract for deed are the same thing. Depends on where you are in the country. Up north, they call it one thing. Down here, they call it something different. Exact same thing, nothing different. So lease options is all this stuff we look for tenant buyers. A tenant buyer is so different from a conventional tenant. A conventional tenant wants you to come fix stuff. Kris, I got a leaky toilet, the faucet's clogged up, I got a window that won't shut, door jam, all that. Be the bank. Be the bank. Stop taking those phone calls. It wasn't until I stopped taking those and entertaining those conversations, my life got easier, right? How can we own some of that prime time real estate? Could it be that you might not want to just be an ordinary landlord to get some of that prime time real estate? So lease options is where we lease the property with an option to buy. We lease it with an option to buy. We give the tenant buyer a certain time frame where they can exercise their option to be a homeowner. We are providing a service to the community. And generally speaking, a lot of this stuff is we provide people with home ownership that can't necessarily go out and get a loan. You got to remember that tagline. That is our mission when we provide these people with homes, right? Let me repeat that. We provide people with home ownership that can't necessarily go out and get a loan. You got to remember that one. How many hundreds of times have I repeated that one? So lease options is the first way. That's my favorite way, right? Land contract, contract for deed. It's the same thing. The tenant buyer is gonna make payments on that contract, right? And when they make that final payment, then they get the deed. So the land contract is a document. They hold it in escrow. Generally, they don't record it at the courthouse. The seller, we still stay on title as we sell these houses, right? But the new tenant buyer has the document saying that they own the right to buy it. They have that contract, right? That land contract. So in essence, they are the new owner until they make that final payment. Once again, different mindset, y'all, different mindset. They are in the business of buying the house and not renting it. If something breaks in the property, don't call me. If you got to do a landscape repair or there's a door that breaks, don't call me, right? It's not your problem when you're selling to tenant buyers, okay? Now, within reason, if you got a leak in the roof and the tenant doesn't want to fix it, you may have to step in to protect your interest in these houses. But still, creative financing is where we turn into the bank, right? And seller financing is the final one. That's where you actually transfer the title. You transfer the title to the new buyer, right? So you're actually selling the property and you turn in the bank and they make monthly payments to you. You are the bank. They get insurance, insuring you. You're the mortgagee. If anything happens, if the house burns down, you get paid off because they're paying insurance for you. And with seller financing, they will pay the taxes too. Now you can mix and match insurance and taxes on all this stuff how you see fit. But the main thing is creative financing allows you to be the bank, y'all. Be the bank. All we want to do is collect money. I remember my mentor, Scott Jelinek, says, Kris, I don't even look at my houses as houses. They're just like little banks. They just collect money and that's it. They collect money. How can you build your own bank with these selective creative financing here? Let me know. I'd love to know in the comments below. Tell me, which one of these strategies do you like best? How can you start to deploy them in your business right now? Because this, I'm telling you, it's a mind shift. It's a mind shift. When you stop thinking like a landlord and start thinking like a bank, your life gets so much easier. I don't worry about phone calls. Now, yes, I do have some Section 8 tenants, which I have to do the repairs for on them. But all my lease options, don't call me. Hot water, heater, central heating in there, dishwasher, stove. I don't get those calls. And I want the same for you, right? I want the same for you. Get your life back. Get your time and some freedom when you turn in to the bank. Be the bank, okay? Listen, round up. Subscribe to the channel. Like this content, like this video if I've helped you at all. Now there's some other videos here that's going to show up that will walk you through some of these strategies, right? And in my channel, I've got all these strategies, a more in-depth breakdown of how they work. So head over to those videos there and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.